Hello, my name is Kurt Brown, also known as Saint Rambone. I have a special interest in the gun laws in the United States, and I want to warn you people. They're saying in Illinois they'll revoke your right to gun rights if you ever admit yourself to a hospital. They'll have a psychologist ask you questions, and what they'll try to do then is detain you if they can. I believe our government has an covert type nature underneath, and it does permutate the hospital system in the United States, the healthcare system. Do not think you have gun rights. I advise you not to use the healthcare system unless you're dying, and then do not talk to the people that suffer specific complaints. If you happen to see a bomb go off in the United States, or if you happen to be hit by radiation or some other chemical matter, I advise you to wash it off and stay away from the government. They cannot do that much for you anyway. They will detain you, take your money, and take your guns. It is as if the government has been core to the brain, no brain left, and all we're left with is ourselves running helter-skelter scared from the government. I know at Flagstaff, Arizona, in Flagstaff Medical Center, they do forced injections, knocking you unconscious very often if you report there for anything that is suspicious. I was an investigative journalist. Since that time, I no longer do that type of work. That was in 2004. I had a gun permit until April 3rd, 2001, legally to own a gun. I was an investigative journalist investigating crimes inside government, medical and financial crimes. I'm formerly an FDIC bank examiner, and I'm also trained in medicine, particularly immunology, genetics engineering, and unfortunately I also know of guinea pig experiments on human beings at LAVA Westwood, which name has been changed since I did my expose on them. It took 10 years. It's at the 405 freeway in Los Angeles at Wilshire Boulevard in Westwood. It's a new hospital there. Don't think you have gun rights. I advise you to put your guns in a safe, lock them away, and just put them away anyway. If the government ever decides to come after you, those guns are as useless as a stick anyway. If you may notice, we don't have a space race. Whoever it is taken over. We have nothing. We're just prisoners on the planet, if that's possible. Since I was injected and tortured, I do not report anything inside the government. I maintain my distance. I do not believe in any, even human rights. Gun ownership rights. What's the good of owning a gun if the government will torture you and give you $1 million bail for owning one? After all, they have much better weapons than you do, and the whole reason guns were brought about in the first place, at least in the United States, was to protect ourselves from a government that might go insane and mad. Welcome to the real world. These are fast times always. The Indians didn't have a gun, neither will you. Let's see, I had a gun permit until April 3rd, 2001. I was going to report Sheriff Jack Tillman of Mobile, Alabama as being an inmate's food fund's thief. He took my gun permit when I had no gun. I was at the entrance to the Mobile, Alabama City Council auditorium. He was there with about 12 to 15 deputies. That was on April 3rd, 2001 at high noon. I simply gave him my gun permit and walked away. I was going to go in front of cameras, in front of Comcast, and discuss his crimes. Since that time, the government has covered up his crime, paid him a double retirement. I was forcibly injected and tortured on April 23rd, 2001, approximately 3 weeks after my encounter with Sheriff Jack Tillman. At this time, I was at LAVA Westwood, Los Angeles Veterans Administration Westwood Hospital, parked outside the gate. Thought I was outside the gate, parked with a U-Haul. I had my guns there. And I told them I had my gun permit. It was in Mobile, but they said I had no gun permit. So they persecuted me for owning a gun. I advise you to beware of the government. I don't even see them as my ally. I see many of their followers as nothing more than predatory savages. They turn on their own, and the person that controls the governments at top are not even in the United States, most likely. If they are, they're only here temporarily. We live in a transient world, a transient universe. Don't believe in the lies. It is a sack of lies. You have no rights. You have no human rights. You have no gun rights. You have no constitution. If you do, it was rewritten by other laws. This is Kurt Brown, alias Saint Rambone. You can Google search Mobile Audit Club. I wish you the best, and forget about that gun ownership business. Also, we warn you to beware of any contact with any government hospitals, any government buildings, anything they interact with. The mass media reminds me of a parrot. Bah! Sweet Carol song. Sweet Carol line. Where is Neil Diamond?